Welcome into KCTV 5 Plus. I'm Janae Hancock here with Taylor Johnson. Taylor, it is Red Friday. It is officially the weekend.
Red Friday!
And that's how we feel. That's how you say Mike Nico's name.
Mike Nico! I don't know why. I don't know.
The funniest thing. It is so, now it's stuck in my head every time I see him. We want to welcome you in on this Friday. Hopefully you are getting ready to start your weekend. And if not, hopefully your weekend comes very soon.
Yeah.
We do want to start off with your news headlines. If you happen to miss the morning show today, and we want to start off with your local news headlines. $100 million, that's how much Kansas City leaders say they are short for the 2027 fiscal year. Kansas City leaders are now implementing spending cuts and hiring restrictions. Although the number may be daunting, officials say the situation is manageable. KCTV5's Gabby Luma joins us this morning to break it all down.
On KCTV5's Gabby Luma, the city of Kansas City is projecting a $100 million budget shortfall for the 2027 fiscal year. Though that may seem like a very high number, Mayor Quinton Lucas says there are no plans to reduce any positions or any departments within the city. City Manager Mario Vasquez echoing those comments, saying that workers might have to just pick up some extra slack. They may be reducing vacant positions. Those would be the only positions really that would be eliminated or even reduced. World Cup wise, they say again the World Cup committee might just have to kind of pick up that slack as some of those vacant positions may be removed. But again, guys, the city sounds like they have quite the plan for this projection.
And that was our Gabby Luma reporting. Well, meanwhile, Kansas City, they approved plans to build a temporary modular jail to house more inmates. It would be built on Front Street near I-435 with about 100 beds, adding to the current 140 beds. Now, Kansas City hasn't had its own jail since 2009, and the goal is to finish it by the summer.
And it is officially official. Jackson County, Missouri has a new executive attorney, Phil Lavota. He replaces Frank White Jr., who voters booted out of office in a special election last month. As KCTV5's Betsy Webster discovered, Lavota has lofty goals as executive.
The swearing in happened here at the historic Truman Courthouse in the square in Independence. Well, now the pomp and circumstance is over and the work begins on several pressing issues. He spoke about his goal to keep the Chiefs and Royals in Jackson County as they're being courted across the state line. He spoke about the budget and the new jail being built. But it was his remarks on property tax assessments that got the most enthusiastic applause.
People of Jackson County, I am going to fix the property tax assessment debacle. Jackson County residents deserve a fair, transparent, and accurate property tax system.
Lavota has 1 year and 11 weeks to accomplish all of that. He signed an affidavit that he would not run in the November 2026 election for a 4-year term. In Independence, Missouri, Betsy Webster, KCTV5 News.
A question we are all still waiting for the answer on: where will the boys in blue play ball next? Well, there's been talks for the Royals downtown or moving to Kansas, but North Kansas City Mayor Jesse Smith says they're still in the game. Smith says talks are ramping up with the team, and the financial health of the city is at the forefront of those discussions.
Any deal that we reach with the team or framework of a deal will have to consider what's best for the city, the businesses, the residents, and the team, making it a true win-win.
Well, this comes as Kansas tries to lure both the Royals and the Chiefs across the state line. Kansas lawmakers want a decision from the teams by the end of this year.
Seconds count in any emergency, and Overland Park police say that their new real-time crime center will help them respond faster and monitor for crime during the World Cup in 2026. Our KCTV5's Ali Espinoza shows us how this new technology takes their tools to the next level.
Well, there's that gap between what the dispatcher can do and what the officer can do, and that's really filling this void right now.
When a crime happens, every second counts. Major Richard Brashear says the difference between catching a suspect and losing them forever often comes down to information. Now Overland Park Police will have more eyes and ears than ever before through a real-time crime center, a dedicated space and team to keep track of surveillance cameras and license plate readers throughout the city.
Whereas right now, maybe they didn't know a fleeing vehicle on traffic cameras without them watching in their car or dispatch providing that. We may intercept more suspects fleeing the scenes. We may be able to locate more missing persons.
Brashear says instead of piecing together what happened after the fact, first responders will get crucial details as events unfold. And with the World Cup bringing international attention to Kansas City, he says having comprehensive information will be more critical than ever.
Moving into next year on the different events, World Cup is one of them, obviously, but we know we're going to have an influx of visitors coming to Overland Park. And keeping them safe beyond what we provide today.
It's a public-private partnership. Quick Trip says it donated $500,000 to make this center possible. They're betting that better information leads to better outcomes.
We are part of the community and that we want to ensure that we do our part to help and not just the policing side of it, but just in the community overall.
That was Ali Espinoza reporting. Well, we are now hearing from the parents of the little boy who was hit while riding his e-scooter. Duke Omert, he was struck Monday night in Leewood on Lee Boulevard, just north of West 103rd Street. His parents tell KCTV5 they are grateful for the outpouring love and support and ask for prayers. He remains in critical condition, and they say that he continues to fight one day at a time.
Sending our best to him for sure today. Now, tomorrow, No Kings organizers, they are ramping up for a second round of nationwide protests. You may remember this video from those protests back in June this summer. Organizers say that tomorrow's rallies will include 2,600 events with millions expected to attend. As far as keeping the protests peaceful, they say it is the very core of what they believe in. And you can head over to our website, kctv5.com, for more information on the rallies happening here locally.
Let's turn to a safety alert this morning for Social Security recipients. If you receive a letter from the U.S. Supreme Court, throw it away. Scammers are now impersonating the U.S. Supreme Court to try to steal your money. The Social Security Administration's watchdog is warning all 75 million beneficiaries not to fall for a fake U.S. Supreme Court letter. It falsely claims that you're under investigation for tax fraud, and the scam letter provides a fake website link designed to steal logins and passwords, and it may ask you for your credit card information. It may also be followed up with a text message and phone call, and the agency says you should report and destroy the fake letter if you receive it, and if you know anybody who receives Social Security benefits, I know I do, be sure to give them a heads up on that.
Yeah, that is very, very scary, Taylor. And you know what? Moving on to our next local news headline, Southwest Boulevard is about to get some upgrades. Today, the city is holding a groundbreaking ceremony for the improvement project. The city is getting the area spiffed up ahead of the World Cup again coming next year. They will repave the roads from Broadway to 25th Street, repair sidewalks, and add new ADA ramps.
All right, that's going to be really helpful.
I know, a lot of
folks.
people are going to be looking forward to that one.
Yeah. I know it can be sometimes hard to drive down that way. Okay, so this is going to be interesting for travelers flying through KCI. You're now going to pass through the Harry S. Truman Terminal. City officials, they designated to rename it after the Missouri native, who was also the 33rd president of the United States. Mayor Quentin Lucas says Truman's legacy deserves to be celebrated every time someone travels through the airport. And I think that makes a lot of sense. Have you been to the Truman Library?
I have not, actually. You know,
nice.
we've covered it obviously several times since I've been here, but I have not been there. But it's on my list.
Yeah, it's
on my list
impressive.
of things to do. Alrighty, well, looking ahead to this weekend, it is Red Friday, as we have mentioned, as you all already know, and we are here to get you ready for Sunday's kickoff against the Raiders. If you're headed to Arrowhead on Sunday, here's the times to know for pregame. Parking lot gates open at 7:30 a.m. We know fans will be lined up, Taylor, as they always are.
Yep.
Ford Tailgate District opens a half hour later, and the stadium gates open up at 10 a.m.
And they tailgate like before, like in the line for the parking gates to open.
Before 7:30. They
it's
are
like,
there early.
What time does
bright.
that even start?
I can't even say bright and early. Dark and
early. All right. And with that being said, the game is going to be at noon, and you can watch it right here on KCTV5 if you decide you don't want to wake up early to get to Arrowhead on Sunday, because that is a pretty early wake-up call. So, again, kickoff is at noon against the Raiders, which is a long-standing rivalry.
It is, yeah.
And who Neil Jones considers folks who do their work out of a porta potty.
Oh, Neil is hilarious. Plus, don't forget that we are talking all things Chiefs tonight on Kansas City Countdown. You won't need to flip the channel. You can see it on KCTV 5 Plus or on KCTV 5 in place of our weather show. And again, that is tonight at 6:30.
Yep. It looks like we got a little lineup on Sunday, too.
Yeah.
Tune in right here. All right, so tomorrow is the Kansas City Marathon, and in honor of the big day, our KCTV5 tower is joining in the celebration. So tonight it's going to be shining blue to mark the marathon. And coming up at 10:30, we're going to have all you need to know to be ready for the race, because there is a big stretch of roads that are going to be impacted. Bill kind of covered it a little bit yesterday on his weekend picks, and it's a lot of ground to cover. I mean, 26.2 miles is a lot, and marathons, they can take a while.
Yeah.
So,
And you know what? Kudos to all the people that are going to be out there that are preparing today.
Yeah.
Because that is a mission. And
Not
that takes
me.
a lot of dedication.
Would you run a marathon, Janae?
You know what? I actually set out to do that this year. And as you can see, it's not going well. It is almost the end of the year, and I have not prepared for anything. Don't have plans to. So I'm going to try again next year. I do like to run, though.
I could do maybe like a 5K.
A 5K. Okay.
I could probably do a little something like that.
Are you walking the 5K or are you running the 5K?
I would probably do a mixture.
Okay. Run a little bit and then start walking. Okay.
Cardio is just not my favorite thing.
And that's okay.
You know,
that is okay.
I did try track when I was in high school. After one practice, I was like, this is not for
me.
She
quit. She never returned.
I went back to what I knew, which was not that.
No, but again, kudos to everyone that's going to make their way out there. We are definitely cheering you on. And hopefully I can get there next year. Hopefully I can drag Taylor to come join. No, hopefully I can drag Taylor to come join me next year.
We'll see about that. Stay tuned.
Speaking of staying tuned, we do want you to take a live look over the Country Club Plaza right now. If you are preparing to get out, maybe do some shopping. Maybe some people are going to start their holiday shopping this weekend as well. It looks like the weather is pretty nice right now, but we're going to leave that up to meteorologist Stevie Stevenson. When we come back, she'll have your weather update, not only for today, but for the weekend. We'll be right back.
We have a lot of big changes headed our way in our forecast as we navigate these next few days, namely a first warn that comes into effect later on this evening into Saturday morning, and then another first warn for Saturday evening too, but that one's for a different reason. I'll get you a look at all of those first warns and what we can expect in terms of these changes headed our way, as well as what we need to know about these rain and storm chances and what they mean for our weekend plans. First, let's step you through your Friday because we'll see how we build towards that first warn into the overnight hours. First, a warm and dry afternoon, again in the mid 80s today, transitions into an evening that could bring us some scattered showers at times. Then into the overnight is when we're going to start to find those thunderstorms having a higher likelihood and higher impact. So that's when we start to bring that first warn into play late tonight, and then that will stay in place into early Saturday morning. That's also when we'll finally find temperatures a bit cooler. But again, it's just because of that rain, and then eventually we'll feel greater effects from the cold front that is driving this rain and storm potential. So while most of today is dry, we do have a first warn in place today. Looking outside the window right now, it would be hard to tell. We have a lot of sunshine, not a whole ton of clouds out there, and in general, warm, calm conditions. But we are going to start to find rain chances popping up on the board as early as this afternoon on the low end, but then definitely into the overnight is when that rain chance really does boost up. So alongside just the chance to find some rain as we're headed to bed, lightning, thunder, we are also watching the chance to find some isolated severe weather risks, such as isolated severe thunderstorms that could bring localized strong wind gusts and localized small hail threats too. If we find storms on the strong to severe side today, those are going to be the threats that they have the potential and ability to carry. Now, we're not talking about a huge widespread severe weather concern, but with what you'll see on future track radar here in just a second, you'll start to see these isolated thunderstorms bubbling up and getting a bit stronger. That's where those severe weather risks will be. Not every thunderstorm will be severe tonight, but we do have the setup and all the ingredients in place to find some stronger thunderstorms today. If we do find stronger thunderstorms, the greatest likelihood for them will be right before midnight and then just there afterwards. We can see those rain chances stepping you through up from a 30% around dinner time to 40% through the later evening hours. And then as we enter the overnight, that's when we boost it to a 60 and 70%, bring in a first warn into the very early morning hours of your Saturday. So that is Friday evening's first warn for rain and thunderstorms, and of course that severe weather potential and threat, before we then go into Saturday, which brings another first warn for very similar but also a different reason. So Saturday early morning looks to bring some rain and thunderstorms too. After that, could still find some lingering rain in the late morning and afternoon, but we are then going to transition into a very windy evening, and one that could be kind of disruptive to some of your plans out there. So we're not giving the all clear even once we do get past those rain and thunderstorm chances in the morning. Instead, we have another first warn in play for the evening time. So let's get into what future track radar looks like. I want to step you through this very slowly because we can see as early as this afternoon, we can start to find those scattered showers, that cloud cover increasing that at times will try to bring us some rain. Maybe during the commute home, though we're not overly concerned about that slowing you down. At first, we're looking at light showers and maybe just brief passing downpours. Once we get into the late night hours, so this is a look at 9 p.m. and onwards, that's when that cold front really starts to swoop in and generates more thunderstorm potential and more activity into the overnight. So you can start to see that flaring up here as I walk through the next couple of hours. Some showers here and there, but embedded, isolated thunderstorm activity within which we are going to be watching very closely for those severe weather concerns. Going into early Saturday, same sort of situation. This cold front, this boundary really lingers, struggles to get its way out of here to the south and east, and instead just generates continual rain and thunderstorm chances through the early morning hours of your Saturday. This is also the newest data that we're looking at that we've gotten in this morning that starts to show us how we're looking to have a drier trend into the sunrise hours and the rest of your Saturday morning, which is really good news. The Garmin KC Marathon is Saturday morning as thousands of runners are trying to hit the roads. That's going to mean that we're more likely to stay dry for that marathon. I'll have a marathon specific forecast for you here in a couple of minutes, but we can see even in the afternoon, it's still possible that we find a bit of rain. Not all of us are going to find rain again in the afternoon or even in the morning for that matter, but the afternoon's coverage I think is being overdone on this newest model that we do have. More so, I think that that's going to look like spotty showers, light rain for those of us in the metro, but the farther south and east you go, down towards Warrensburg, Clinton, Sedalia, you could find some heavier pockets of rainfall into your Saturday evening. You need to keep your evening plans more flexible than the rest of us do, because the rest of us, we're just looking at cloud cover and at times some light lingering rainfall. We're not really talking thunderstorm activity for many of us in the afternoon and evening. After that, we can finally start to see this system getting pushed out to the east. That's because we're going to have a reinforcing cold front and a pretty strong one come in. Finally kick those rain chances out of here. Let us get on with the rest of our weekend, which is going to be much more fall-like. So I'll get you a look at Sunday here in a second. First, let's step you through rain chances for this event as a whole. First one coming into play late tonight into early Saturday morning. We do look to be able to wrap that up by sunrise. So by about 6 or 7 in the morning, you can see those rain chances tapering off very quickly. And then in the afternoon, looking a bit drier to start before we then try to bring in maybe a couple chances for rain in the late afternoon and evening. For the morning though, where the Garmin Kansas City Marathon's going to get underway very early, runners start in temperatures in the 60s. So not too bad out there. Definitely better running weather than what we've had recently. We're not going to see a massive cool down tomorrow on your Saturday because Saturday evening's front's going to be the stronger one, therefore leading to greater cool downs and greater impacts to our temperatures on Sunday. So that's when we'll find the cool down, even more than what we'll find on Saturday. You'll notice it's still a little better on Saturday, but not a lot. Here's stepping through the morning and that marathon forecast where you can see those rain chances wrapping up pretty quickly and overall difficult to come by. I'm not saying that it's impossible for you to find some sprinkles if you're cheering on someone running or if you're running yourself, but more likely than not, most of that rain will be out of here by the time that that marathon gets underway. Though some areas could still be a little soggy, a little slick, especially spots that see more rain coming through in the overnight hours preceding that race getting going. So just keep that in mind. At times you may find some slick spots on the roads. While rain totals aren't looking overly impressive, we could find a couple tenths of an inch from time to time. Localized spots finding even more than that where isolated thunderstorms do get set up. So those are the first warns that we have in place for the rain. Overnight storms from Friday night into Saturday, but then we have that Saturday first warn also in place for a windy evening. We could see that those winds really start to pick up after sunset. That's also about when we could find some more showers popping back up into the forecast. We've upped that rain chance to a 30% in the early evening into the evening and post-sunset hours, and then the afternoon preceding that is going to be cooler than what we have today, but still unseasonably warm in the mid-70s. Here's why we have that first warn in place through Saturday night though, and that's because of these forecast wind gusts. They are getting a little out of hand. We have a reinforcing cold front coming in that is going to start to drum up very strong wind gusts out of the northwest. We can see those populating here on your screen, anywhere from about 30, 35, 40 mile per hour wind gusts possible as this line and this cold front starts to come through. Now, the reason that we're not seeing a huge rain event with this second cold front coming through Saturday evening is because the atmosphere is going to be very deprived of moisture. So this cold front will come in quieter, but will push out some very strong wind gusts as it does so. You can see through the heart of those evening hours, the heart of those evening plans, including dinner time, that wind is going to be cranking. So just keep that in mind for any outdoor plans that you have, or if you're trying to get maybe a little ahead of the game, trying to set up any sort of tailgating things, equipment set up before Saturday or Sunday morning, I should say, know that you'll need to anchor those down, and maybe I would just suggest waking up earlier on Sunday to do it, because that's when those winds will be a lot more relaxed. Sunday is also going to be a beautiful day, festively seasonal. Finally, 66 degrees for that afternoon high on your Sunday. Crisp feeling starting off the day in the 40s, and then we'll warm up slightly on Monday. Chiefs forecast looking good though, and much more reminiscent of fall football weather. We sure do deserve it with all that warmth and heat that we've had to deal with so far this season. Tailgate's going to be met with temperatures in the 40s and 50s. Very chilly start, but sunshine all throughout the day. Clear skies will make for a nice and absolutely beautiful afternoon. Again, only getting up to the mid 60s, so it's going to feel great. That's an amazing game day forecast. We love to see that. And temperatures are going to continue to stay at least closer to seasonable through the upcoming work week. Low temperatures starting off in at the mornings, 40s and 50s, so not bad either. That 45-degree morning on your Sunday is going to be a bit of shock to the system, so make sure you're starting to put that jacket out the door. I hope you guys have a wonderful rest of your Friday, and Janae and Taylor will be right back.
Thank you for staying with us on this Friday here on KCTV 5 Plus. So there's a lot going on this weekend, not just the Chiefs game that we're prepping for, but also tomorrow, thousands of runners will be out on the street for Kansas City's largest annual race, the Garmin Kansas City Marathon. And the races are going to take over the entire city from the north side of the downtown loop to 75th Street. So be prepared for that. Also from Ward Parkway to even the Paseo. And here to talk with us all about it is Dave Borchardt. Hi, Dave. Thank you for being with us this morning.
Hey, good morning. Yeah, thanks for the coverage. We appreciate it.
Yeah, no problem. So as I just mentioned, thousands of people are going to be out on the streets tomorrow. Just how many people can we expect to see doing the different elements of the marathon?
So we're just shy of 10,000 people registered for the race right now. We think at some point today we'll surpass that. So yeah, we expect 10,000 runners to depart. Like you said, it impacts the majority of the city of Kansas City, Missouri. I think that's one of the cool things about our race is we're like a running tour of KCMO. So we run past all the big landmarks in town with the race starting and finishing at the Nelson Atkins Museum of Art, but then the runners also get to see the Country Club Plaza in Westport, World War I Memorial, Union Station, Kauffman Center, City Hall, 18th and Vine, and then the full marathoners get to tack on, as you mentioned, all the way down to near 75th Street and Ward Parkway and get to take in that extra 13 miles down south as well. So yeah, it should be a nice morning to run. And to answer your question, there'll be about 10,000 people out on the course among the 4 different race distances.
Wow, and 10,000, that is a lot of people. So what are some of the different places that they're coming from? What other cities and states have you noticed with those registrations?
Yeah, it's really interesting. Every year we have about 75% of the runners are local. And by local, we would say within an hour of Kansas City. So about 75% are Kansas, Missouri, within an hour drive of KCMO. That being said, we have people from all 50 states and about 11 or 12 different countries also competing in the race this year, which is pretty cool. So we do still get a chunk, about 25 to 30% come in from outside the city. And that's great for obviously tourism, driving economic impact. It's great for the hotels, the bars and restaurants and all that good stuff. So while it is still a primarily local race with people from Kansas and Missouri, we do have people coming in from all over the country and even all over the world.
And can you just talk a little bit about just the running culture in Kansas City? In recent years, it seems like running has become a lot more popular with different run clubs and things like that. And I know people train for months to come out and run these marathons. And I know that there are different distances with this as well. But what can you tell us just about running in this area?
Yeah, I think you hit the nail on the head. Running is kind of booming right now. It was doing that before the pandemic, but then obviously COVID shut everything down. I think coming out of the pandemic, some people were afraid to go out and gather in large groups like we were doing prior to 2020. But man, it has exploded. Just to give you an example, last year we had 7,900 people registered for the Garmin KC Marathon. And as we sit here this morning, we're at 9,900. So it's obviously a huge increase, 25%. And I do think a big part of it is the run clubs. I think people get a real sense of community through these run clubs, and wherever you live in the city, if it's Lee Summit, Olathe, Overland Park, North Kansas City, downtown, there's always 1 or 2 run clubs within the city where you live. And that's a great place for people to come together, really get to meet people. And what we've learned is a lot of people now that maybe didn't consider themselves runners a year or 2 ago now do, and it's because of the run clubs and the sense of community they get through that. So running's hot right now, and I agree with you. I think the run clubs are a big part of that.
And I feel like that's not a bad habit to pick up, running. Who doesn't want to get some good exercise, get your heart pumping and everything. And so just looking at that video and just thinking about the path that the runners are going to be taking, they're going to be going through some areas where there might be some folks out there supporting them. So what is the support like for the folks who are on the sidelines watching the runners do their thing?
So there are a ton of people that gather at the start finish line, which is on 47th Street right in front of the Nelson Atkins. So when the air horn goes off at 7 o'clock and we have fireworks go off, there's a lot of people there to watch the start of the race. And a lot of people stick around the start finish line to wait for their people to come in, their friends, their family. They want to celebrate that moment with them. But there are people spread out along the course as well. I think in the neighborhoods we impact, where people might have a tough time getting out of their neighborhood, a lot of residents have chosen to go out and really make a party of it. We know Kansas City is a great sports town. We're a great tailgating town. We see that at Arrowhead, Royals games, current games, sporting games, all that sort of stuff. And I think a lot of people just go out their front door, and instead of getting frustrated by the race, they make a party of it. And they're having mimosas at 7 a.m. and Bloody Marys and stuff like that. And some people even make like unofficial aid stations where, we have our aid stations where we have water and Powerade for the runners, but they may pass out, mini cups of beer or donuts or things like that. So it is a really fun way for people to get involved. We also have a spectator contest that's sponsored by our friends at Johnny's Tavern. So we'll actually award the top 3 cheer zones on the course, and they have a chance to win up to a $500 gift card from Johnny's Tavern, which is a cool prize. So we would definitely encourage everyone out there. We know the race can cause delays to your normal Saturday morning routine. So we would love it if you could avoid getting frustrated and instead just turn this into a day of celebration and really go out and appreciate what the Garmin KC Marathon is. Because even if you're not a runner, if you go out and see a race up close, I think a lot of people get inspired and think it's a pretty cool thing. And we hope the whole city will join us in celebrating even the people that aren't runners.
Yeah, we're certainly cheering the runners on over here, especially those like myself who considers herself a non-runner. But I do want to ask, what does it take to get all of this planned? I mean, just to pick the path and get the aid stations ready and everything that's needed to make it a successful experience.
Well, I'll tell you, it's our events team with the Kansas City Sports Commission is incredible in terms of details and logistics. I think a lot of people think of the Sports Commission and they think of the events we bring in, which things like NFL draft, Big 12 basketball, obviously the World Cup coming in next year. But we have 15 different events that we own and operate throughout the year, with the Garmin KC Marathon being our biggest event and our biggest fundraiser for our nonprofit organization. So we have a great events team that's great with logistics. But that being said, we have so many other partners we have to work with, including, like you said, the course. The city of KCMO helps us plan that. They approve the course. They help keep the runners safe on the course. They also allow pedestrians to cross the route when there's a safe gap between the runners. So they're certainly a great partner. We also work with KC Fire Department. We have great medical partners with UMKC School of Medicine, University Health, Homeland Security, FBI. They're all involved in kind of the planning and security of the race. We also need 1,200 volunteers for this race. So, when you talk about a 10,000 person race, we're a 16-person staff at the Sports Commission. So we need more than 1,200 volunteers to pull this off. So I think it's a mix of great community partners, great corporate partners, but also so many volunteers needed to make this event a success.
And so for those who are running tomorrow, what are some of the important things that they need to know as they make their way to the starting line? What time do you suggest they be out there? What are the plans for parking? Those important details.
Yeah, we definitely encourage people to check out the participant guide. We've emailed it to everyone. It's also posted on our social media handles at KC Marathon. It will tell you suggested parking, all that sort of stuff, including the course. But in general, we get so many people that show up and try to start parking 6:15, 6:30, and it can get really congested at that time. So I would encourage anyone that can show up more like 5:30, 5:45, maybe 6 o'clock at the latest. That'll really help you have a less stressful experience the morning of the race. Our preferred parking locations, which have free parking, are the Country Club Plaza, which is about a quarter of a mile west of the start-finish line, and then the campus at UMKC, which is about a quarter mile south of the start-finish line. So if you arrive 5:30, 5:45, you should be able to sail in with no problems. And it's a short 5 to 10 minute walk from the plaza or UMKC to get to the start line. And it's kind of like a nice little warm-up for people before they go out and enjoy the day.
And how long does it usually take? I know that the times vary, but when can folks expect things to be wrapped up and back to normal?
Yeah, so one interesting thing about the course, and like I said, you can check it out on our website, kcmarathon.org, or our social media handles. The course and the roads open up at a certain location as soon as the last runner goes through. So if you're talking about like the World War I museum, for example, that's around mile 4 on the course. So the last person will probably go through that location around 9:30 a.m. So the entire 26-mile course does not stay closed all day. And at a location like World War I, the roads would totally reopen by 9:30, for example. At the plaza, the roads would totally reopen even earlier, maybe 8 o'clock or 8:15. So if you check out our website, you can see when the estimated time is that runners are going by different locations. And we'll let you know when the locations will have the roads there open back up. In general, everything in the city will be totally reopened 1:30, 2 o'clock. Kind of the last locations that will open up would be the full marathon course roads. So that would be coming back through Luce Park, down Oak Street, by UMKC in that area would kind of be the last ones to open up.
Okay, not bad at all. So my last question for you, what do you enjoy the most about the Garmin Kansas City Marathon?
Honestly, I love the community feel. I think for people like us that are adults and we have some sort of way to blow off steam. A lot of us compete in sports, or we grew up competing in sports. But if you're playing in an adult basketball league or volleyball or pickleball or whatever you're doing, you're usually competing against someone and trying to beat someone. But it's very different in these race experiences. Honestly, it's unless you're one of the 5 fastest people in the race, you're competing against yourself. So everybody's there to support each other and lift each other up. People are trying to say, I did the 5K last year. Can I do the 10K this year? Go a little bit further. Or I ran the half marathon in an hour 45 last year. Can I do it a little bit faster this year? So it's a pretty cool scene. It's very uplifting. And like I said earlier, I think races are pretty inspiring to see people doing things that they never thought they could do. We have an 80-year-old gentleman in town who's battling Parkinson's, and he's running our full marathon tomorrow. So thinking
Wow.
about the things we deal with in our everyday lives. Everybody has things that are stressing them out, and everybody has their challenges. But you see things like that, and this 80-year-old gentleman traveled in from Indiana, and he's running the full marathon tomorrow. And for me, that's pretty inspiring. So I love stories like that, and I love that everybody's there to support each other and lift each other up.
Yeah, that is awesome. Not letting anything stop him. That's really great. Cheering him on for sure.
And I think you said you're a non-runner, but maybe next year, maybe we'll get you out for the 5K or 10K.
I was just telling my co-anchor Janae, I said maybe I could do a 5K. Maybe.
We'll totally do it.
Yeah, I guess I'll have to start working on that now. Well, thank you so much for being with us this morning, Dave, and just sharing all this important information. It's a big day tomorrow. I know folks got to get their rest and get prepared for the marathon.
Sounds good. It was good talking to you.
Yes. All right. Well, with that, we will take a break and we'll be right back.
I'm Brad Stevens reporting from NFL Live Experience in New Orleans. Rye Rosé. That's why we came to the University of Kansas. Stupid Tom Brady. Yeah, Patriots. It turned personal. Is their love for their mothers. But it is going to be fun to watch. It's called the most photographed bridge in the world. The move would be legendary. Oh, man. And rip them off.
Have you noticed anything with the players?
To Lawrence, Kansas. I still have my KCTV 5 rally towel. What do we do for the people whose lives were changed forever? We're about 25 minutes west of downtown Kansas City. We are in Gardner, Kansas. We are counting down the days. It doesn't look that hard. The brewery is packed tonight. Okay, there we go. 1 for 1.
And now we supported the Elephants.
I'm Brad Stevens, reporting from St. Charles. KCTV 5 News.
That was such a great touch, his teeth dinging. Cause
I know. Why do I have a feeling I know exactly which editor did that? But no, congratulations to Brad Stevens on 20 years here at KCTV 5.
Yes, Brad is
that yesterday.
An awesome example and just like the quintessential anchorman. When I think of anchorman, I think Brad Stevens.
We've been talking about this all morning long. My dad's in town. He said the same exact thing yesterday. He looks like an anchor. Brad is such a great person. So again, congratulations to him. We do want to move on to your entertainment news headline, something that's a little bit more unfortunate. Legendary rock legend Ace Frehley, the original guitarist for Kiss, has died. He was 74 years old. Frehley's family says that he passed away Thursday in New Jersey following a recent fall at his home. He co-founded Kiss back in 1973 and became famous for Spaceman, his Spaceman persona, I should say. He left the group in the early 1980s, but went on to launch a successful solo career. Now, in 2014, he was inducted into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame with Kiss. Frehley is survived by his wife, daughter, and 2 siblings.
Well, yesterday marked 1 year since the tragic death of singer Liam Payne, and fans were seen gathering at a memorial in Buenos Aires to pay homage to the beloved artist. The former member of One Direction died in 2024 after he fell from the 3rd floor of a hotel in Argentina. Payne first graced the British stage in 2008 after he auditioned for the X Factor at 14 years old.
Isn't that crazy to think about?
Yeah.
And again, that song is still stuck in my head.
I know. I won't embarrass us this morning. I'll leave it alone. But it's a great song.
I was waiting for her to sing it.
I thought
was
about
waiting
it
for the moment. Okay, so we do want to move on to something that I'm sure a lot of people are looking forward to, and that is candy. If you haven't already made your way to the store to get your favorite bag of candy ahead of Halloween, I'm sure you're going to do so pretty soon if you have a sweet tooth. So as we look ahead to the big holiday, many of you are starting to stack up, like I said, on your favorite goods. And this year, according to Instacart, Reese's Peanut Butter Cups remains America's favorite candy. Peanut M&Ms and classic M&Ms weren't far behind, followed by Kit Kat and Snickers. The most popular treat in Kansas this year, drum roll please, candy corn.
Oh, that's nasty. Missouri, let's do better, guys.
Missouri, dark chocolate.
Oh, okay. So it's not candy corn?
No, Kansas is candy corn.
Kansas is candy corn.
You can see the map right here on your screen. It's also on our website.
Do better, Kansas.
And then dark chocolate for the state of Missouri.
That's too healthy-ish. Like dark chocolate, I feel like people eat dark chocolate when they want to be healthy.
Okay, so wait, you had an opinion about the M&Ms. No, was it the M&Ms, the Reese's?
Yeah, that it should be number 1. I love Reese's.
Okay.
I buy those every time I go to the grocery store.
Ooh.
I love them. I get like the big 12-pack snack pack ones. And I just love to just eat them.
And you know what? I'm right there with you. This year I am. Typically I'm not. But California, this is a hot take.
Okay.
And I've been telling everyone here at the station, I love these. Almond Joys for the state of California.
California,
so
really?
Good. Yeah. Almonds and coconut and chocolate.
What's Maryland?
Yeah. My grandma actually is the reason why I love Almond Joys, but so good. And it makes sense, right? It's because it's like Well, we won't get into it.
Okay, I'm glad you said it. I'm glad you said what I was thinking.
It's like those
It's like
peppermints that your
Werther's.
grandmother. Yeah, it's like the candy that your grandmother always has. But honestly, I do love that. And then Sour Patch Kids for the state of Texas, which
I
is
love Sour Patch.
pretty interesting.
I
But I
love
do love
gummies.
peanut M&Ms, and I am disappointed in Kansas. Candy corn.
Candy corn.
We can do better.
Well,
We can
I
do
also
better.
saw on our list that they had the gold bears on there, the gummy bears. I
where's
love
that?
the gold bears.
Oh, on
the
the
article
list for the entire. Mm-hmm. All right, we can pull that back.
Yep,
up
the
as
gold
well. So yeah, you can
bears.
see the Reese's, peanut M&Ms, Kit Kat, Snickers, Sour Patch Kids, the Hershey's milk chocolate Milky Way. Ooh,
Twix though. I like Twix.
and the Gold Bears.
Yeah. So when I go trick or treating with my
I was
niece.
gonna say, Taylor, I don't know if you're gonna pass for a little kid.
I like Skittles. I will go
Yes.
for the Skittles. I will go for the Reese's. I will go for Snickers.
Okay.
Twix
Kit
for
Kat.
sure. And I
Kit
think
Kat.
Kit Kat. It depends.
Oh, Taylor.
It would be like the first thing that I grab for.
We do have to talk. We need to talk about that because.
Kit Kat makes me thirsty.
All right, and that's where we're going to end the conversation. So we have gone through Halloween. Let's talk about Thanksgiving. What's going on?
All right, so for Thanksgiving, Aldi, they're going to make it easy for you to prep that Thanksgiving meal. They've announced its lowest per person price on a full Thanksgiving spread. So they're offering turkey in various sides for 10 people, and they're cutting costs last year by $7. So the total of 21 products includes a 14-pound turkey, rolls, cranberry sauce, mac and cheese, stuffing, mashed potatoes with gravy, sweet potato casserole, green bean casserole, and pumpkin pie.
It just keeps going. I was talking about this with Julia, who's on our news desk, and we said we would try this. Like just for a normal day because it's going on, like you said, until December 24th.
Yes, and it's only $40.
Yeah.
So
Per
for 10
person, that's
people,
$4
per person.
Yeah.
Yep. And they said these ingredients will be available till December 24th, 2025. So I'm wondering if it's like already pre-prepped and you have to put it in the oven, or you have to mix it up. You know, cooking a Thanksgiving meal is a feat, and I just salute our moms and grandmas
And you have tried it.
all of our other adults in our lives who have prepped these meals, because I did make one for just myself, and my knees were aching.
Yeah, it's a lot of work. It is a lot of work.
is.
And that's why it's like days of preparation.
Yes.
But I do want to let you all know that you can go to our website, kctv5.com, for more on the Halloween candy, as well as this. Aldi offering that full Thanksgiving meal. And before we let our viewers go, before we head over to Hollywood Minute, Taylor, of course, we love to talk about food. So my final question for you, what do you need on your Thanksgiving plate?
Okay.
What do you have to grab?
I need the dark meat side of the turkey.
Yes.
So like a thigh, a wing.
Okay.
I need potato salad.
Okay.
I need ham.
Okay.
Sweet potatoes, green beans. If we have mashed potatoes or rice, I love rice more. Rice and gravy. Either one of those
That's
two.
what I was thinking, the same thing.
I don't. All of that goes out of the window. Like the food groups and stuff. Nobody has time for that. And then maybe some deviled eggs if we have deviled eggs.
I love
I fill my
deviled
plate.
eggs.
And cranberry sauce, jellied cranberry sauce.
I can't do
From a
cranberry
can.
sauce. But here is another hot take.
Okay.
I'm not a big turkey person. If I eat turkey, again, it has to be the dark meat.
Yes.
I am more of a ham person.
I love ham.
I have to have ham.
Yes.
And I love mac and cheese. I don't know if you said that.
Oh, baked mac and cheese. Yes.
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 So we're getting hungry. I asked Taylor what she needs on her plate, meaning one item. This woman gave us the full plate.
That is the plate.
Appetizer, almost the dessert, everything. But we will take
And
it.
I'm going back for more.
And we love her for it, and taking a good to-go plate as well.
Yes.
Alrighty. And as we continue to count down to the holidays, Halloween and Thanksgiving, and then soon we'll be talking about Christmas, we do have your Hollywood Minute.
Brother, be careful. I will.
Sinners was a huge hit with audiences and critics alike, and now it's set to get some love in the upcoming awards season. The Gotham Awards will honor the cast with an ensemble tribute at the ceremony in December. The event's organizers cited Michael B. Jordan's magnificent dual roles in the film and said the entire cast created one of the great cinematic experiences of the year.
She's entering the pumpkin contest, wanted a few tips.
This ain't some grow-your-own-salad school project. This is all-out vegetable warfare.
Looking for a non-scary, family-friendly Halloween film this month? Grow might fit the bill. The comedy is kicking off its week-long run in theaters and centers on a wild and wacky pumpkin growing competition. It's been described as a Halloween movie with a Christmas vibe.
It's about the power of the glow.
It's time to bask again in the glow of The Last Dragon. The 80s kung fu classic is celebrating its 40th anniversary with a return to the big screen. It's back in theaters next week for a limited run, with the same mix of music and martial arts that's made it a cult favorite over the decades. In Hollywood, I'm Douglas Hyde.
And there is your Hollywood Minute, your entertainment news. We're going to take a quick break, and when we come back, we have your national news headlines.